believe it was the wolf, I think I'm right. They heard that the enemy was coming to destroy them, and each one built a house. Now, these young folk may get me straight later on, but it's been so long ago, so y'all got to help me with this. One built his house on sand. One built his house out of straw. And the other built his house out of brick. And they said these words. They knew that the enemy was coming, and they said, you can huff, you can puff, but you cannot blow the house down. I said Philip this morning, just to remind you that you can huff, you can puff, but you cannot destroy God's church. The enemy can't destroy nothing that belongs to God. I say this in case someone thinks that the forces of evil can destroy God's house. It will never happen as long as God's word shall live. And he said in Matthew 24:35, before my word shall fail, both heaven and earth will pass away. It is difficult to move forward without faith. For faith is the ultimate foundation that gives us strength when we are faced with opposition, discouragement, disappointment, fear, and despair. So the author in the book of Hebrews main focus is on faith. Because the servants, the stewards, the trustees of God sometimes get to a point in life that after such hard work and trying to build upon the foundation for which the church was founded, feel as if though their labor is in vain. But Jesus said that upon this rock, I will build my church, and nothing can never destroy it. Sometimes we ask ourselves, how is it possible that the churches all over the world are still standing after going through so much persecution? But I just came by to tell y'all today that the church is built to last. And just because you have a mortgage on your church do not mean that the church is in jeopardy of being closed. Because guess whose name is on the mortgage? His name is Jesus. His name is on the mortgage or on the deed, and there is nothing that no one can do to remove or destroy God's church. Because Jesus proclaimed that upon the rock I'm going to build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Even after 90 days, and the court send you a letter of a right to cure, saying that your church is going to be foreclosed upon, still can't do anything with the church. Because the church belongs to the living God. Amen. So why do people keep coming to the church one generation after another with all the negative press, all the negative comments, and all the killing of each other, the backbiting, the lying, the gossiping, the cheating that goes on in our church? And even those who are angry with God's church, but they keep on coming to take of the Holy Communion, asking for forgiveness. There is something about the church that caused the sinner to keep coming to the house of God Sunday yeah, there is something that causes us to keep coming to God's church. And yes, sometimes when things happen in the church, we get upset. We become afraid. We become frustrated. We really believe that the church doors may close. Now you hear it, don't you hear it sometimes? But you can't do anything with God's church. So I say to the officers this morning, you might well love the church, because the church is going to be here forever. And we're going to leave, but the church is always going to be here. Now, if you don't believe it, when you leave, take a stroll by the cemetery. Not St. Philip, but I do know some buildings, not churches, where the cemetery has outgrown the sanctuary. But God did not build his church on the basis of man, but on his spirit. Mind, attitudes were changed by the Holy Spirit. The way we do business in the church has changed. It's just not the same anymore. Why is that? Because God has given us custodial authority, not custodial power. Because he has the power over all creations. But we are caretakers over his church until he come again. And Jesus is coming looking for a church without a spot or a wrinkle. Paul says it to the church at Ephesus in 5:25 that Christ loved the church and gave his life for her. God has positioned Christ to a high authority for the sake of the church. So Jesus built the church by calling his people to himself. He promised that he would build his church. Not that man would build it, but that he would build his church, and it will last forever. Amen. Augustine said, for the visible church, many sheep are without and wolves are within. But the church is the bride of Christ. And Hebrews said, my brothers and sisters, that you need to hold fast to the faith. The church is not primarily a human structure like a political, social, or economical organism, but it is the church of Jesus the Christ, and habitation of God through the Spirit. For Christ still loves his church, and he admonished husbands that you should love your wives just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle, but that she would be holy and without blemish. So I just stopped by to encourage you today that even after this church has been here, built on the foundation of Jesus, for 177 years, that the church is still going to live on. Amen. Because it was built to last. So if you allow yourself to get frustrated or stressed out or worried about God's church, you can stop worrying. Because Jesus said, upon the rock I build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. So how we treat others is how God intends for us to treat his church. That we should love our neighbors as ourselves. God intends for us to take care of his church as those who have passed on many years ago. So even Saul tried everything he could to frighten and persecute Christians and destroy God's church. But Saul met his match one day.